How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new edition of Piledriver TV. I'm, of course, Costa, the host of Piledriver TV. We're back in the studios from about a year and a half absence. We are here live with Pro Wrestling Iron, Pro Wrestling Noah superstar Donovan. How's it going?
Good, very good, Lewis. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Now, Donovan, you've been in Pro Wrestling Noah for about the last 2.5 years. A lot of new foreign talents been in exchange over there, like Ricky Marvin of Mexico, Doug Williams of England. How's it like working with a lot of these new talents?
Well, the great part about working with Noah is that they're not going to bring in any slouches. Most of the people that they bring in are going to be top-notch talents in the wrestling business, like Doug Williams. I mean, that's all you have to say is Doug Williams, and everyone that follows wrestling knows, what a superstar he is and what a good technician he is. Ricky Marvin, a great luchador, even though, he's really young. He's like 23 years old. Tremendous athlete, and really, Noah keeps adding to their Gaijin, their foreign roster, very well. So it's great. I mean, we get along like a family, all the foreign talent. So it's a really good place to be.
Cool. Like I said, you've been there for 2.5 years right now. You had a lot of title shots for the junior heavyweight title, junior heavyweight tag team titles with your partner Michael Modis. Do you plan to stay in the junior heavyweight division or move on up to the heavyweights?
Right now, I'm in the process. I've dropped about 10 pounds in the last month, so I'm going to give the junior heavyweight title a shot one more time. And I think that the fact that I am bigger than a lot of their junior heavyweights, like Ricky Marvin, for example, even though I fall into the junior heavyweight category, it doesn't take too much for me to snap a guy like that in half. You know what I mean? He might be faster, but I'm definitely stronger. So I think we'll give the junior heavyweight. If I can make a name for myself on the junior heavyweight scene, then maybe move on to the heavyweight, like Yoshinori Ogawa did. Throughout his career, started out as a junior, now he's a heavy. So that's my plan.
Cool. A lot of guys all over the world start as junior heavyweights and move up to heavyweights. So that sounds good right here. Now, right here, you're saying you do a lot of stories on the road. You've been traveling all over Japan for Noah. Do you have any road stories you can tell us here for the fans of Piledriver TV?
We have a lot of good times. In June, I'll have been with Noah for 3 years. So in 3 years, we've had a lot of good stories. I remember one of the first tours that we were on, we were up in Amori, which is kind of, it's maybe 2 or 3 hours from Sapporo, which is the northern tip of Japan. And a lot of earthquakes there. And one time we stopped at the hotel first to get like a 2-hour nap, and then we were going to go to the arena. And that's when Vader was still working with the company. And there was an earthquake, and it started shaking this old rickety hotel. And Vader comes running out of his room completely naked and running down the hall going, this place is going to come down. We got to get out of here. And, of course, all of us, were way faster than him. So we were already downstairs, and he was still running down the hall naked. So still, some funny stories. There's been a lot of earthquakes, that I've been in over there, and a lot of fire alarms, that in the hotels that go off, false alarms. Everyone runs and gets downstairs quick, and then they tell you it's a false alarm. So, a lot of good stories, but a lot of them aren't suitable for TV.
Yeah, even if we're on 11 o'clock at night, we're probably still not suitable for
That's right.
TV. That's all good. But we'll also want you fans to know that later on today, on this edition, we're going to have an interview with John Cena before he had his match against No Way Out. Now, Donovan, you wrestle against a lot of WWE superstars, Sakota and John Cena. Do you ever think why the WWE never gave a shot like you for their company? You're probably a better technical wrestler than John Cena will ever be, and probably have just as much charisma than Sakota probably has.
I think, I'm very happy with where I'm at, because when I got into pro wrestling almost 9 years ago, I was just turning 20. I thought, wow, WWF's where I want to go. I really want to start there and have a great career. But once I started looking at guys like Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit, and those guys that really started to get their name in Japan, first of all, and then they moved on to WWF, at the time and made a name for themselves there. But they went into WCW and WWF with that credibility of the fact that they wrestled for a Japanese company prior, for a few years. So they had that credibility not only, but their dollar value was a lot more high than a guy like Sakota, who comes in probably under a developmental contract and isn't making that much money. People really don't know who he is. Good wrestler, but right now, as far as like my plan, where I'm going down my path is very good, and I'm very happy with it. And I think, maybe in a couple years, if I'm still wrestling, that would be a good move to make, to go and finish up in WWE.
Well, that's good. Well, right now, what do you think about the WWE's game plan? Right now, both their heavyweight champions, Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, both guys are under 6 feet tall. They're not the prototypical 6'4", 275-pounder. Do you think a guy like you and many other wrestlers, probably not the biggest guys in the world, will have a better shot now in the world of wrestling entertainment?
Yeah, I think so. I think, especially with when Crash Holly started to wrestle for WWE, Crash was really, WCW already had the cruiserweight division. And of course, like Eddie Guerrero and Chris Jericho, and they were all part of it. But WWE really didn't walk on that ground yet. And I think Crash Holly was one of the first ones to really get people to notice smaller guys. And now, basically, really the difference between a junior heavyweight and a heavyweight is if guys like Eddie Guerrero, who are still technically on the weight side junior heavyweights, but experience-wise, if you look at it that way, that's why they're called heavyweights. It means they're more experienced and they can go with anybody, not just the cruisers. And so I think, yeah, I mean, the whole wrestling business has opened up for a world of good for a small guy. So a small guy can get a lot further now, and I think, a guy like me that's 6 foot tall can get more credibility and be noticed and be used more with the WWE.
And what are some of your future plans? Like you say, you want to be in Japan a little bit longer. Do you want to stay with Noah, or maybe go to WWE, or maybe somewhere else internationally, like another federation in Japan or Mexico? Or
I'm very happy in Japan with where I'm at. Pro Wrestling Noah is the #1 company, hands down. There's no question about it. I'd like to maybe try my hand with WWE eventually, whether it be in the office or, in the ring. But, that's something that I'm not rushing to get to. Right now I'm extremely happy where I'm at. And Japan's a great learning tool. You're only going to get better wrestling there. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with that. So
Cool. Now, lastly here, you're part of the owner, part of head trainer, sort of, for Pro Wrestling Iron and based out of Hayward, California. Can you tell the fans, maybe not too familiar about it?
Well, myself and Michael Modest. Michael Modest is my tag team partner, also in Japan, star of the movie Beyond the Mat. And we opened Pro Wrestling Iron in Hayward about 2.5 years ago. And now Frank Murdoch has come on, so we have three owners to the company. We're a limited liability company. We're very reputable training school. And the thing is, when you're looking at training schools, anyone out there that is thinking maybe, I want a better job than just moving furniture, you want to find a wrestling school with credibility. And it's one of the reasons why we have a lot of WWE superstars stop in Pro Wrestling Iron, almost monthly. Guys like Spike Dudley, Crash Holly, and Stevie Richards, those kind of guys will stop in because they know this is the best place to get trained. Especially in I like to consider it the #1 wrestling school in America, but definitely in California, this is the place to go. We also have a lot of people that wrestle for us that are hobby wrestlers. If you come to Pro Wrestling Iron, you're going to find your niche real quick. Whether you want to do it just because you want to wrestle in front of your kids, you want to be able to say you've wrestled, and your goal really isn't to make it to the WWE. But then we have a ton of other people that come here because they know we can get them to WWE, NWA, TNA, and Japan. So we definitely have the contacts. We definitely have the credibility. And I offer anyone that's just thinking about it to come by and stop by and watch a training class. Because if you've gone to other wrestling schools, especially wrestling schools in the area, if you check out their class and then come check out our class, there's no question in your head on which school's the best school. But it's a big move. Saying I'm going to become a pro wrestler is a big move in someone's life because it takes dedication, determination. So you want to make sure that you do your shopping. Do your homework on wrestling schools because there's a lot of ones out there that'll just take you for a ride.
Yes, exactly. What is some more information about school? Like maybe like a website they can go to if I want to, know information about the school.
Sure. If you're interested, you can visit us on the web at prowrestlingiron.com, or you can give the school a call and listen to the voice message and possibly set up an appointment to just come in and watch a class. It doesn't cost anything. You can also see what we're doing as a company. Not only are we a wrestling school that trains pro wrestlers and gets them to bigger and better places in pro wrestling, but we are also a pro wrestling company. So we run shows all over Northern California. We're getting ready to run a show in Chicago in June, and we're on the verge of doing something very big with our company. So once you graduate Pro Wrestling Iron, you get to move on and work for us and travel with us on the road and do pro wrestling events, all over. Pretty much, right now it's just between here and Chicago, but who knows, one day it might be around the country. But at least you're getting experience and exposure with us. So if you're interested, you can dial 510-670-0504, and one of our office staff will get back to you to set up an appointment. Or, like I said, you can visit us on the web at prowrestlingiron.com and fill out an online application.
Cool, great. Pro Wrestling Iron, one of the best schools, probably the best school all over the country. If you're interested, check out the website. Now we're going to go to the John Cena interview. Day before No Way Out, Valentine's Day. Stay tuned. Me and Donovan will still be here as Donovan Morgan takes on Bison Smith for the Pro Wrestling IWC Heavyweight Championship from Lathrop, California. So stay tuned.